The way the movie starts out is it's underground at some location that is completely unknown to the audience. The underground location is cavernous. In other words, it appears to be, in some way, inside of some kind of cavern. But is it really a cavern? There's a slope, there's a hill, kind of a road, if you will, maybe where vehicles can drive through. You can't really see everything because it's dark, and there is a body of water at the end of this slope. So this opening scene is, again, inside what appears to be some kind of cavern, where at the base of this cavern is a body of water. And somehow, some way, there is a road almost where one could drive a truck or a vehicle up the slope, the hill, going out of the base, up away from the base of this cavern, and then around a corner that kind of just ends at this granite rock wall. And it's obviously designed, so there's technology embedded inside this cavern by way of industrial processes. So, in other words, it's not just natural terrain. Where the road goes up the slope of that, from the base of that cavern, there's this wall, this sheet rock wall that is flat, and it opens into something else that you don't see in the opening scene. And as the central character, as he comes to, he's looking around, trying to figure out who he is and what this is. So he's looking around, and he sees this cavern with this sheet rock wall, granite rock wall, and he sees this slope, this kind of road, and he sees where there are some conduits of some type, where power, electrical power, runs through these conduits, going somewhere into the larger sheer mass of this underground cavern behind that sheetrock wall. So there's obviously something on the other side of that wall. Looks reminiscent of NORAD, save for there are no humans there, other than the central character. There are no guards, no sentries, there are no observable cameras of any kind, and you can hear water running, and where the water travels beneath the cavern going out somewhere, you don't know. But there's obviously a pool, kind of a waiting pool of water at the base of this cavern. And again, it's dark, it's murky, you can hear some water dripping from the cavern overhead, and it's obviously damp at the base of this cavern. And so the central character, he realizes that if he walks down to the edge of this water and kind of peers around this dark corner, he sees that it opens up. So he makes his way down toward that wall at the base of that slope, looks around down that dark corridor, if you will, kind of an alcove that opens up into that area where you can see a glint of light, and he realizes that he can kind of shinny his way down along the edge of the wall where it meets the water. And when he does, as he scrunches down and he starts moving, he realizes that it's a pathway that was designed. It's not just naturally occurring in the Earth's terrain. So he scrunches down, kind of crouches down, and he's kind of kneeling down, if you will, and shinnies his way, kind of inch by inch, down this very narrow pathway, and then it opens up into a larger tunnel system. When that tunnel opens up, he can clearly see that it's another room, it's another chamber inside this cavernous terrain. He realizes that this tunnel it goes somewhere beyond where he had come to, and that kind of haze, that kind of dark fog, if you will. From there, he walks upright and sees the extent of this tunnel and realizes that is probably a passageway where he ought to travel, where he ought to go. He doesn't know why or how, but he's assuming that that's probably the path to take. This tunnel internally was technological. It was not just a bored out tunnel or a burrowed out tunnel underground, but there was technology embedded in the wall, the tunnel surface itself. Technology that he currently didn't understand. He could see pathways of more and more conduits of electrical units. So obviously there's some kind of electricity and some kind of electrical grid. As he's walking closer to this, what appears to be a train terminal, a track system of some kind, he realizes and notices and observes, he can clearly see that this is some kind of not just underground tunnel subway system, but a technologically advanced underground tunnel system involving something more than just a simple underground subway train. As he approaches the kind of landing there, as he comes up through this tunnel into this open air area, it's more open air than the narrower tunnel pathway from where he had come from. It opens up and it's lighted. There's more light in this tunnel system. And these materials that comprise the surfaces of this larger tunnel system near this loading zone area where folks will apparently board this boarding zone. In this boarding zone area, the walls and surfaces of this interior are lighted by way of some kind of lighting system. It appears almost like there are lights behind the surface. The surface material is a lighted surface material. There's some kind of lighting behind this almost glass-like, translucent-like material that begets and comprises this larger tunnel system. So he makes his way, proceeds to the boarding zone, and walks down this pathway to find this pod-like vehicle. This is unlike any kind of subway transit system he has ever seen before. This subway car, this underground rail car, can't really be referred to as a car because it's not a subway car or train in the traditional sense. It's pod-shaped. It's an elliptical, craft-like pod that is clearly on a magneto-leviton track system. And it looks to be all glass or some kind of durable, high tension, stress, tensile glass. So he's looking at it and observing it and realizing that it is there for one to enter, so he walks into it. When he does, it activates the interior of this pod craft that is this underground transit system. It's not, again, any kind of subway car that you would see on this current timeline. This is a highly advanced pod-like vehicle. As he's looking around, wherever he looks and moves, different panels of the interior activate and go online. They initialize, serialize, and are online. And he's seeing geospatial information that he doesn't know where it's coming from or what it is, what it pertains to, what it refers to. But it is obviously some kind of GIS information pointing to city, township, map, parcel, coordinates, almost aeronautical spaces. And again, he doesn't recognize any of these different locations. At that point, the voice activation system goes online and is speaking to him in terms of what the system is doing as it initializes, as it serializes, as it continues to boot and go online. And he's hearing the system functions being spoken to him in terms of this boot process, this startup mode. And while that's taking place, the craft has already sealed itself and is moving forward very rapidly